morning, everybody. I'm up, I'm ready, and I wanted to talk about the fires in California because I really want to discuss. I don't care how the fires happen, right? So there's a bunch of theories, conspiracy theories, and all kinds of stuff about those fires. However, supposedly the government did it because they want to build a smart city. Now, I'm not against a smart city per se. However, I am against them rebuilding it where LA was to start with. Slow connection. Okay. In my opinion, okay, if you look at the way the laws are made, the laws are written to protect our water sources, right? And a lot of countries don't even have water because they pee and poop near the water sources, right? So when you go to the national park and the national forest, okay, sorry I got interrupted. When you go to the national park and the national forest, they have laws where you have to. The service is so slow today. Oh my God. Drives me nuts when I can't do what I need to do. I need to be in the city. I am a city girl now, not a country girl anymore because there's nothing I can do in the country with service. Anyways, the interruptions keep getting on my nerves. In the national forest, in the national parks, you have to bury your poop. Do you remember how far, Johnny? Like 50 feet away from any water sources. Something like that. It's like 50 feet away from any water sources. And you're actually not even allowed to set up a tent next to a water source. Now, they are breaking their own rules because they've got pre-made camps all over the place that are right on the water. But those are the rules. That's on the pamphlet. That's in the law. Okay? And they do that to protect the water sources because the rain will wash your poop down into the ground, and more rain eventually washes, your E. coli out into the water sources and stuff like that. Okay? So, sorry. Why then would they build a city where hundreds, thousands, or millions of people are right on the water? Think about that. They're right on the water, and while we do not drink salt water, there are animals that need that water too. And that is a natural body of water, and everything in the environment is affected by the ocean. Our temperatures, our weather, it all comes from changes in the ocean. Okay? So, you got all these houses right on the beach, right? All these stores, like the Boardwalk in California and LA, right on the beach, right? So every time there's a storm, things are getting washed into the water, blown into the water. So I had another interruption. Service is so slow. So things are getting washed into the water and all of that, right? So you have a tornado, you have a hurricane, you have all of that happening, that all gets back into the water. When there's a flood from that, the water recedes and goes back into the ocean. All that trash, all that stuff gets taken to the ocean where sea turtles get caught up in it and other things get caught up in it, right? And it pollutes the water, which in turn upsets the ocean and the balance in the ocean, and then that comes back up and it affects the weather and affects the temperatures and all kinds of stuff, right? So there's very limited beaches in the United States as it is. I only think of 3. One out in, there's a bunch of little ones and stuff, but Florida, North Carolina, I don't think it's my service. I think something's trying to keep me from getting this message out, but it's not going to work. Anyways, so, I think because there's so many limited beaches in the United States that nobody should be allowed to live on them or near them within 50 miles, at least 50 miles, preferably 100 miles. And any cities that exist now need to be removed. They need to be taken down. And the beaches need to be turned into national parks, national forest, and it should be free to get in. You should not have to pay. There should not be controlled parking. You should be able to get in and go just like you do any other national forest, national park. Should be available because you have hundreds, if not millions of people on the beach every day, all the time, leaving trash, houses and stores with septic that all seeps into the ground, and those floods go and take all of that back, and all the animal crap and everything from their little doggy walk parks, and all that stuff needs to stop. They need to change all of that, and they need to create a law where all of the beaches for all the sea turtles and all the crabs and everything that goes on those beaches are protected, and turn it into this. Nobody's going to want to watch it when it's constantly being interrupted. Anyways, and make those national parks and national forests, protected lands within 50 to 100 miles of the beaches, and remove all the cities away from them. It's also limiting who gets to be there, and that's not right. Because of the houses there, a lot of times RVs can't be there. You should be able to be there. It's the beach. It's the only beaches we've got. It should not be a rich person privilege. It should be open to the public.